Hello. It's been a few years, I think, or I think it's been over 5 years, I think. And to be honest, you're probably thinking, who the hell am I? And to be honest, I've been thinking about that myself. So to just break down who I am, I'm Ollie, or as better known by my username EffeectFTW. I haven't really decided which one I'm going to keep. And about 7, 8, 9 years ago, God, I feel old. I did some video stuff, and it was mostly gaming related. I did a little bit of tech stuff as well, and I also dabbled with some like coding stuff back then. And I would say that I really got into it probably 7, 8 years ago, and I did make a really conscious effort to do some more content. However, effectively life happened. I went to university, got a degree, and it ended up being full-time working for the last 4 to 5 years, which has been absolutely crazy time. So obviously I sort of dropped the YouTube channel for a bit, and funny enough, I actually ended up delisting some of the videos on this channel because I effectively wanted to turn this channel into like an employment thing, where effectively it would be like my portfolio of all my cool projects. However, I realised I didn't actually have that many cool projects, and also I really want to apologise to anybody who used any of my coding tutorials, because they're all like real bad, and it's like I actually cringe whenever I watch those tutorials now. When you like do something super long ago, and then you look back at it and you think, my god, I'm an absolute doofus. And that's how I kind of feel with a lot of my coding tutorials. Now, anyways, the reason why I'm sort of making this video is I'm actually going to be moving to Japan, and actually in literally five days, I think it's about 5 days or so, I'm actually going to be moving to Tokyo for about a year, which is actually going to be really sick. And to be honest, I am quite scared, but in a good way. I think it's going to be a lot of good fun, and I've been there twice already. I went there in late December of 2022, just after they lifted the COVID restrictions, and I also went there in the middle of May last year. So I'm going to be spending effectively August of this year to effectively July of next year, so it'll effectively just under a year. And I'm very excited for this. However, when you make it like a scary decision, but it's probably the right thing. That's what I'm probably doing at the moment. It's a little bit scary, but you know what? I think it's going to be absolutely sick. And with this trip in mind, I've been asked by friends and family whether I was going to document any of this, and I wasn't sure at first, because I'm a little bit more of a private person than I was 8, 9 years ago. I was a little bit willy, I was a little bit more likely to just give out information about myself, but nowadays I'm a little bit more consciously private about that. The last few years there's been lots of data breaches and stuff, and I just don't really want to sort of get my don't want to just leak a bunch of information about where I live and stuff. Although weirdly I've just broken that, because I've just told you exactly what I'm actually doing, so I guess I'm no longer a private person. Anyways, I digress. One of the main reasons, so friends and family were asking me about, are you going to document any of this? And I was unsure about it at first, but after watching some of my older videos, I mean, man, I kind of fell in love with them, and I did some really funny stuff and just some like pretty wholesome stuff as well. And I'm actually kind of proud that I was able to even build this channel in the first place, 10, 11 years ago. And I just absolutely, I have to say, thank you for all staying sub to me, even though you probably don't know who I am. And the thing that actually really got me back into it was, there's a close friend of mine who is Dogma's Domain, who I think I may have like shouted out on Blue Sky or somewhere. I don't know. If not, go and subscribe to him. He makes absolutely fantastic gaming videos. But me and I used to do, we were in the YouTube content creation game, 8, 9 years ago, and then we decided to, be like, effectively he decided to go and restart, and he's doing absolutely great. So I recommend checking out his videos, and and people who know him personally, he's a real G, and I'm a real close friend with him, and I'm glad to call him one of my best friends. He's a pretty sick dude. And anyways, so what is the plan of this channel going to be? What am I actually subbing to? What is the overall ride? Well, it's going to be a mixture of vlogging content, typical weeaboo stuff, unfortunately, but if you're into that, you're into that. And it's also going to be some gaming and tech stuff, because at the end of the day, that's sort of the reason why I created this channel. I want to do some more gaming and PC gaming tech stuff. I've got a couple of ideas already cooking in my head. I'm going to actually have to rebuild my PC, because at the moment, I'm not sure if it comes up to the camera, this is my computer at the moment. It's all just in this box that weighs a butt ton, although maybe getting a water cooler was a mistake. But anyways, we're gonna see how that goes. and there's a lot of ideas that I have in the back of my head. I know the content meta's changed. I don't really want to do more clickbaity videos. I want to do videos that sort of document, you know, things that I've done, you know, during my year abroad, and, you know, maybe some interesting gaming stuff that, you know, I'm personally very, very interested in. And effectively what I want to do is, you know, I want to make sure these videos are high quality and there's actually something you actually want to click on, and not something that is just, you know, something that you just put, you know, browse by, you know, on your sub box. I've seen so many channels in my sub box, and I think a lot of people who've been on YouTube for a long time see this. There's a lot of people who just, like, you know, they'll keep uploading videos, but there's literally like nobody watching them. And I don't particularly want to do that. I want to, you know, make videos that I'm, you know, proud of, and hopefully, you know, if they get views or not, it doesn't matter, because, you know, the video is something that I'm very, very personally proud of. So, obviously, as I said, I'm just going to leave you to it, because I've got a pack, and obviously you can see I actually need to ship that box out, so I need to go and do that soon. So, I hope you guys can come on the journey, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I mean, I guess what I can say is, you know, we're so back, but I just realised I'm a man in my mid-20s saying we are so back, unironically, which I don't know if it says more about me or, you know, the world we're living in. That is kind of crazy, but, you know, so be it, so be it. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you maybe in the next one, you know, maybe not, I don't know.